Hello and welcome to Faithfully Stampin' with Jennifer Helm. I am Jennifer Helm, the Faithful Stamper, and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! I have for you today another fun fold. I've kind of been on a roll lately with fun folds. This one took me a little bit to think about what I wanted to call it, but I think I'm going to call it the Faux Belly Band Fun Fold because it kind of has the appearance of a belly band, which is usually a band that slides up around the entirety of the card. But this one is actually just a flap on the front. It is a little bit different from your standard card though because it's a much larger piece of cardstock that you start with, but it folds down into the size of a regular A2 size card. So without further ado, let me open it up and show you the beautiful DSP. This is the Floral Charm DSP. It is a new online exclusive item from Stampin' Up! And you can check out all the online exclusives and all the products we offer at my website, which is thefaithfulstamper.stampinup.net. We do have a new holiday mini catalog that is debuting in just a few weeks. It's less than a month, beginning of September. So that has beautiful fall items, holiday items, scrapbooking workshop kits, regular kits, all kinds of fun. So be sure to check that out. If you'd like a paper copy of a catalog and you don't have a demonstrator you're working with, please feel free to reach out and I'd be happy to get one to you. I'm definitely a paper catalog kind of girl. All right, so again, here is our beautiful fun fold. It might look like a lot. It's actually not a lot once you get going because it's all straight cuts and folds and really easy to come together. So let's go ahead and get started. Now we are going to start with a base piece of cardstock. As I mentioned, this is larger than your typical piece of cardstock. It is 5.5 by 11, and we're going to score on the 11-inch side 3 times. So let me bring over my paper trimmer. I'm gonna have to go way over here tonight. I apologize for the glare. So if you're taking notes or screenshot, I apologize. Let me try to get that on camera a little bit better for y'all. So we're going to score first. Remember, keep your cutting blade out of the way. Use your score blade. I didn't actually cut, but I almost did a couple times. So 1 1/4. Then slide down to your center point at 5.5. And then last but not least, slide over to 9 1/4. And you've got your 3 score marks. You can go ahead and put your scoring tool away. And we will go ahead and get started folding. So what I do is I start with the 1-inch side of the cardstock. Or I guess that's 1 1/4, but the narrow panel, we'll say that. Then fold in half towards the narrow panel. And then I open that back up, and then, actually it's easier if you keep it folded and then fold back towards that halfway point. So it doesn't really make any kind of shape, but when you fold it together, your 2 small panels are going to be together. So unfolded, it kind of looks like a wonky V. That's the easiest way, or a TP with an extra flap. So however you want to say it. But this is how the fold should be. And you can take a bone folder if you like and go ahead and crease all those folds, but your fingers will do just fine. All right, so I discovered it's easier for me to kind of pick a starting place and do one whole side of the card. So what I'm going to do is start on the inside. And I'm going to start with this 3rd panel. So we've got narrow, largest, 2nd largest, and then this 4th panel. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. So I mentioned we're going to start with the inside panel, and that is the one we are going to stamp on. So this is a piece of basic white that is 3.5 by 5 1/4. And my stamp sets tonight are buried in all my samples, but let me grab them real quick. Ooh. Beautiful butterflies. I'm using Time to Celebrate along with our little speckle here, you'll see in a minute. And then for the front, I'm using Sweetly Scripted Happy Birthday. So I am going to bring over my Stampin' Pierce mat because 2 of the 3 stamps are photopolymer, and I want to have a nice impression underneath. So I'm using Mossy Meadow, which is the same color as my cardstock base, for the Time to Celebrate. And then I'm using Timid Tiger, which is one of our new in colors. It does happen to be on sale if you're watching this in August 2025. So you can check that out on the website too. They're on sale till the end of the month, end of August. Isn't that fun? You'd never know the speckles are supposed to go with butterflies, right? And speaking of the speckle, I'm actually going to take a quick minute and using Timid Tiger and the speckles, I'm just going to run across the bottom of my envelope. Did you see I just inked my knuckles? Happens to the best of us, right? Let's see. So there we go. That's a fun little accent to our envelope. All right. We'll do just a little bit of stamping again later. But for now, we're going to come back to our card base. I'm going to move my website out of the way because I feel like I need a little more room this evening. So this panel is going to go on our third panel of the card. Now you don't need any special adhesive really for this card. There's one place I recommend using a strong adhesive, and I'll tell you about that when we get there. But otherwise, use your favorite glue, your favorite tape runner. All right, so I mentioned I like doing all one side at a time, and it's so that I can line things up right. So next what I'm going to do is pull out my embossed panels of cardstock. So you will need 2 for this design. One of them is 3.5 by 5 1/4. It's the same size as this panel. That's going to go on the opposite side of the card, actually on the back side of that panel, but we'll get to that in a minute. And then this panel is 4 by 5 1/4, and it's going to fit nicely on the largest panel here. So again, use your favorite glue. Decide whether you want the embossed or debossed side up. Sometimes that's my biggest decision. And I mentioned wanting to do the whole side at once because it's just easier to keep things lined up nicely across the top and bottom. I did not do this on one of my earlier card samples, and that's how I learned to do it this way. So I'm just sharing a little bit of wisdom with you. All right, now let's get to our DSP. So this is our Floral Charm DSP, online exclusive. This piece is 1.5 inches wide by 5 1/4 inches tall. And the only place that this will fit on the card is right here on this panel. Then you need 2 pieces of coordinating paper that can be 1 inch wide by 4 inches tall. They can be the same print, or you could do one of 2 different coordinating prints as long as it goes with your card. But I kept mine the same. One of them is going to go on the other side of the card, and then the second one is going to go here on this first panel. So let me go ahead and get some adhesive on the back here. All right, so I like to turn my card sideways a little bit. It just helps me kind of work a little easier. And again, I can use that top and line it right up and then slide it down. Just make sure your paper's going in the right direction before you press it down. There we go. So now we have a nice neat row right across the top. So I'm going to fold the card in half, and I've mentioned that other embossed panel. So that is going to go on what is actually the front of the card that you see, with a little added flair. Okay, and then last but not least, that other 1 inch strip, we're going to close the card all the way, so you should have this one unadorned panel, and that is where your second strip of cardstock comes in, or a designer series paper. Any of these panels you can mix and match. So you could do straight designer series paper. You can mix and match with embossed cardstock, plain cardstock that you stamped on. You could make a cute little scene if you've got paper with like the turtles that we have. That would be a fun place to add some accents here. So lots of things you can do. So really the only panel that you're not going to use is this one here. But trust me, nobody's even going to know. All right, so we have just one more step really to finish off the front. So for our front faux belly band, as I've decided to call it, we have a piece of cardstock that is 1 1/4 inch by 4 inches, and then basic white that is 1 inch by 4. So just keep in mind that these two, when they're put together, they run end to end, and you've only got a border at the top and the bottom. For these pieces, I'm gonna grab some scrap paper here. My Sweetly Scripted stamp, I love it. I love the writing on it, and it's long, so I need to ink up a little bit more than the width of my paper here. So that's why I brought over the scrap paper. There we go. All right, so that is all the stamping for tonight. Now these two get layered together, and then we're going to talk about the one place I think you might want a stronger adhesive. So again, remember end to end on this one, just the border on the top and the bottom. So when we put this on the card, you can put it at the top, you can put it in the middle, you can put it at the bottom, wherever you like. If there's something you want to highlight or hide on that DSP panel, you can use this to do so. But we're only attaching it to this very first panel, not the whole thing. So you've got about 1 inch worth that needs glue. And so that is why I chose just for this one particular piece to use my Stampin' Seal Plus. It's a little bit firmer of a grip. It might be okay with the Stampin' Seal, but I really don't want it to fall apart. So, and I'm going to line it up with the edge of my designer series paper, not the edge of the card. It's not quite as wide as the whole card, but if I line it up with the edge of that DSP, it makes for a pretty border, and it lines up rather perfectly with the rest of the card. And then to finish this one off, we are just going to add some of our antique pearls to the front. Got to have a little bling on the card. Ooh, flung that one right in the air. And I think I took the sticky off. Yep. All right, try again. And now the sticky's going to stick to my finger. Let's see here. All right, so there is our finished card. I just realized I did my original sample with the stamp in the Timid Tiger. But it looks good both ways, doesn't it? All right, so I have more samples to show you. And I do want to share the, this was not my original card idea. I received this beautiful card as a swap at an event that I attended in the past. So this was made by Gail Doria from Nazareth, Pennsylvania. Beautiful card. She used soft sea foam as her color, and she die cut the, actually she fussy cut, I believe, the butterfly from the Spotlight of Nature set. Definitely more ambitious than I am. I am not a fan of fussy cutting. And she did her bling along the side in a row, which I like that. Beautiful colors, very nice card to get. So thank you, Gail, for the inspiration. Now I'm going to go back to that Floral Charm DSP that we used, but I'm going to use different papers from the set. So here's one in our Blackberry Bliss color with a beautiful floral. Here, instead of a straight sentiment piece or a fussy cut, I actually used a die cut, and this is again the Spotlight of Nature set, just the florals instead of the butterfly. And I kept the inside simple. And I liked it so much, and I love this paper, I couldn't decide which one I wanted to do. So I did this card opposite with the panels. Look at that beautiful DSP. I love purples too, so couldn't decide which one to do. Now one more floral card. This one I did a little differently. Instead of just solely the DSP here on the front, I stamped on it using that kind of crosshatch stamp from the set. I did the same on the inside as well, just for a little added accent, a little texture. So this is fun because you can mix and match your paper, your embossing folders, lots of opportunities for you to be creative. Now, we are quickly approaching fall here where I am in Maryland, so I'm jumping the gun a little bit and making some Halloween cards, but our new Halloween set, it's the Spooky Night set, is perfect for cards like this. It's a great way to use up small scraps of paper and then feature that other paper as well. Here, instead of an embossed cardstock piece, I used designer series paper from the set and a die cut from the same set. The adorable little foam star stickers that are sparkly for Halloween. Here I used the hippo and the non-traditional petunia pop for our purple color. So lots of fun, different ways to showcase products. In case you have lots of paper at home like me. I think this was my favorite of the Halloween cards. I really like this little guy here. He just looks cute and pensive. And then I'm a big fan of this DSP with the windows and the cats and the bats. So a fun way to show off the paper and send someone Halloween wishes. So thank you so much for tuning in and checking out our faux belly band fun fold technique. If you are new to the page here, welcome, and I'd love for you to become a subscriber. You can click that notification bell and receive a little ding each time a video goes live here on the page. You can also find me over on Facebook as The Faithful Stamper, and I share a lot more information there, specials that the company has regarding products and other things. I share monthly the paper pumpkin kits, the regular kits that we have each month, and of course all the incentives and new catalogs, and sometimes I do challenges of my own. So also I share my workshop information there. So if you're interested, please feel free to hop over there and find me. I'd be happy to have you there as part of that community as well. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and happy crafting.